After decades of rumors that General Motors is planning a mid-engined Corvette, it is now happening. The next generation of America's sports car is set to make the most radical change in its 65-year history and move its power plant behind the passenger seats when it goes on sale in late 2019. This and the following picture is Autocar's artist impression of what we expect. In a further break with tradition, the new Corvette, known by its C8 model code, will be sold alongside a version of the current car, with sources inside GM indicating we can expect to see a slightly revised version of the current C7 as an entry-level alternative. Although the C8 will carry a premium over its front-engine sister, it will still be sold at a price that will undercut the junior supercars offered by premium manufacturers by a significant margin. Power. There will be no surprise in the choice of launch power plant, with the C8 set to reach the market using a developed version of GM's current LT-spec 6.2-liter V8. Although this engine still uses push rods, and will be unable to match the low-down torque of turbocharged alternatives, the all-alloy unit still has many virtues. It is light, responsive, relatively cheap to build and able to generate an output of around 500 horsepower with little work. It also gives a clear connection between the radical new car and the front-engine Corvette that will continue in production, which could help given the existing car has an older and more conservative buying profile than other sports cars in the US. Spied Corvette C8. We recently spotted the new car out testing both on and near GM's proving grounds in Michigan. Punchier power plants are inevitable, especially given GM's history of offering faster variants soon after the launch of a base car. Media in the US are reporting that these will include a newly developed overhead camshaft V8. This is set to be sold in both naturally aspirated and twin turbocharged versions, the latter certain to produce at least as much as the 755 horsepower of the current supercharged Corvette ZR1. Beyond that, a hybrid version will add an electrically powered front axle to the mix, potentially giving a total system output approaching 1,000 horsepower. The other big change will come with a new twin-clutch transaxle gearbox, developed by transmission supplier Tremec, and effectively remove the option of a conventional manual version, a significant shift given the relatively high percentage of current Corvettes that are still sold with a clutch pedal. Like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and McLaren, the new Vette will display its rear-mounted engine through a glass cover. Other parts of the design remain a closely guarded secret for now. The test mule gives little away beyond the need for significant cooling at the front of the car. Despite GM's sale of its European operations to France's PSA last year, the new car is being developed with significant use of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and we can expect the sort of aggressive aerodynamics necessary for good high-speed performance there, possibly including active elements. Spied Corvette C8. But while the C8 is certain to be hugely fast, the need to keep costs down mean it will make limited use of expensive materials. The chassis is believed to be an aluminum space frame, using the glass fiber bodywork that has been used by every previous generation. Though carbon brakes are certain to be available, the new Corvette is likely to stick to a base specification of cast iron discs for the same reason. Whilst the C7 Corvette has a target roof with removable panels, it seems likely that the C8 will shift to a more conventional split between coupe and launch to convertible later. The finished car will be shown in the US early in 2019, although we're told that it won't be at the Detroit Auto Show in January. Sales will begin in the US later in 2019, with a base price under $100,000, £75,000 at current exchange rates. One question is whether, unlike previous Corvettes, it will travel widely outside America. A key question mark is over right-hand drive production, which would seem like a long shot despite the success the right-hook Ford Mustang has enjoyed in the UK and Australia. But an American source said that the loss of Vauxhall and Opel has not made a significant difference in the case for European sales, with the C6 and C7 Corvettes both sold in Europe through non-GM channels, albeit in tiny volumes. C1, 1953 to 1962. The Corvette was launched after a hugely positive response to what was meant to be only a motor show concept. It originally had an inline six-cylinder engine, with the first V8 only offered in 1955. It was Chevrolet's first V8 engine since 1919. C2, 1963 to 1967. GM considered using the Chevrolet Corvaire's rear-mounted engine in the second Corvette, but ultimately opted to stick with a conventional layout. It gained independent rear suspension and all-round disc brakes. C3, 1968 to 1982. The longest-lived Vette straddled America's Malaise era of power-sapping emissions control, meaning that outputs actually fell throughout its life. The Nader was the 1982 5.0-liter with just 180 horsepower, which was only sold in California. C4, 1983 to 1996. The C4's wedge shape was pinned to thousands of bedroom walls, and Lotus got involved with the creation of the range-topping ZR1 of 1995, which boasted 375 horsepower thanks to an overhead camshaft engine. It was briefly the fastest production car in the States. C5, 1997 to 2004. With a rear-mounted transaxle transmission, the C4 boasted 50 hours 50 minutes weight distribution and took the Corvette to a new level of handling. High-tech options included a head-up display and active dampers. C6, 2005 to 2013. The C6 lost its predecessor's pop-up headlights but gained more performance. The Z06 version had a 498 horsepower 7.0-liter small block V8 and a weight-saving aluminum chassis in place of the regular car's steel frame. C7, 2013 present. Chevrolet returned to the official Stingray name last used by the C3. GM considered switching this version to a mid-engine layout, but the company's lack of development funds following the financial crisis meant it stuck with a conventional layout.